What's up, everybody? Welcome to Week 11 of the NFL and the B&E Podcast, presented by Premium. 6 teams on a bye week this week here, but we got several games to talk about and several games to watch. My name is Brandon. He's Ed. Ed, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I believe we're in week 12, sir.
Uh,
But yes,
Behind.
doing good back home in DMV. So hopefully my Commanders don't disappoint me as we play the Cowboys this week. Cowboys week. I know you guys call it Steelers week whenever y'all play y'all rival. So I guess we got Cowboys week. We're gonna get into it though. But let's start with this opening drive, shall we? Let's see what we got. Seahawks center Connor Williams has decided to retire from the NFL at age of 27. He did not play Sunday. The Broncos have installed new turf at Empower Field at Mile High. The Giants have released quarterback Daniel Jones after he asked ownership to be released. Former Pats wide receiver Tyquan Thornton is signing with the Chiefs. The Bears have sent video of the Packers game-winning block kick to the league office after saying Green Bay was on their long snapper and it should have been a penalty. Good luck with that. Robert Kraft reportedly denied entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame again. NFL has issued security alerts to teams and players regarding recent home burglaries of Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes. Bucks wide receiver Mike Evans is expected to suit up and play Sunday night against the Giants. Thank God I have him on my fantasy team. And Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa are out against Green Bay. Quarterback Brandon Allen will get the start in Green Bay. Before we get going with these games and previews and stuff, just a little comment on the Giants releasing Daniel Jones. I would not be surprised if the Cowboys picked him up. It would be great if they picked him up. They play the Cowboys or they play the Giants, I should say, in about 2 weeks. And what a story would it be to him to go to his own team and win against them? That would be great.
True.
But you got any thoughts on that before we get started?
Yeah, it's kind of like a situation should have been done a while ago, in my opinion. Honestly, shouldn't have got that contract over Saquon. Um, just a mess. Draft a guy out of what was he, Duke or North Carolina? He was in one of them schools down there. You don't get too many quarterbacks
Yeah, I think Duke.
prospects out of one of those schools. So hopefully they get things going. Honestly, at this point, you done got rid of your quarterback. It honest. I think it's time to get rid of your coach as well, Brian Daboll. I think that experiment is done. If you're going to start over, basically, you might as well start over from the top on down, general manager and um, head coach. So we'll see how the next couple games go. I don't think it's going to matter. Honestly, you may get one or two game wins out of DeVito, but um, that would be a good story to see him go in the division and go back there and win. I'm not too sure if Dallas is sold on it. They still have Lance and Cooper Rush down there. I honestly think
Mhm.
by the start of next year, I see him going to Tennessee. They picked up Ryan Tannehill after he had a tumultuous start to his career down in Miami. Uh, did pretty decent with him a couple years, so I think they may end up going that route again as well because we know that their quarterback is not the answer down there. So they'll definitely have some options for sure. Las Vegas is an option, a few other organizations as well. So we'll see how it goes. But honestly, if I was him, I'd sit out for the remainder of the year, collect that paycheck, rest up, get some training reps in with somebody, go work at the quarterback, the Manning quarterback academy or whatever. I think that's usually for high school prospects, but go meet up with some of the greats or something and try to reboot your career, collect that paycheck, man, because they owe him a slew of money right now.
Yeah, must be nice for real. Get fired and
Hmm.
release and still get a pretty hefty paycheck for sure.
Exactly.
Let's get into this Thursday night game that happened a couple days ago. Browns beat the Steelers 24-19. Divisional game. Going into this game, I'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to be surprised if the Browns are in this game. It's just funny though. They beat the damn Commanders by the Steelers. I mean, the skin of the teeth. And then they play y'all, beat the Ravens. I don't want to say by the skin of the teeth, but that was another close game. Then they played the Browns. The game got snowy in the second half. Jameis Winston has a pretty solid connection with Jerry Judy so far. This is the second straight game where he had over 80 yards receiving. and they got the job done. Shout out to Nick Chubb. I believe he had 2 touchdowns
Yeah.
in this game, scored early and scored late as well. This is against a team he had that devastating knee injury against. So it's good to see him starting to return back to form. And then towards the end of the game, kind of could tell, like, I thought the Steelers were going to start doing Steeler things. I want to say the guy, Nick Herbig, he had a big play where he forced a strip sack on Jameis Winston. Then they recovered the ball. They were down about I think it was like 6-18 at this point, and they started to come back. And they scored a touchdown, 18-19. I was like, God damn it, Steelers gonna do it again. But
Yeah.
Jameis Winston and those Browns are able to drive down the field in the snow, in the cold. Jameis Winston kind of like remind me a little bit of that movie Any Given Sunday, where I think it was Dennis Quaid, the actor, was in. He scrambled for a touchdown. He got kind of like topsy turvy in the air as Cam Hayward laid some wood on Jameson's just a little bit, not like it would have been back in the old days where he was already in zone, so he didn't want to add on to it. But he definitely laid some wood on because it popped like his battery pack or something for his communications device out of his helmet. And yeah, the Browns are able to win this game. Myles Garrett, huge game as well. 3 sacks. I believe they all won the first half, but definitely seem motivated to play. Talking about, TJ Watt. This is my house. I'm the defensive player of the year. I'm the premier DN,
Yep.
and he definitely proved it out there today. Other side of the ball for the Steelers, Mike Thomas said it best. They didn't get going early. They weren't uh, just wasn't ready for the action that the Browns are willing to give them that first half. I was kind of surprised. I thought it would be a little bit more closer to start the game, but the Browns got out on them early. Like I said, 3 sacks. At halftime, the score was 10-3, and they pretty much were just able to hold on and then rally late to win this game. So good win for the Browns. Happy they beat the Steelers because the Steelers beat us. Brian, what did you think of the
Yeah, I'm a bit heated because I almost picked Cleveland and I didn't. Everybody in my picks
game?
league sent their picks in before me, said Pittsburgh. So I was like, man, I can't go against it right now because I can't afford a loss. And sure enough, I went with Pittsburgh and lost. But yeah, they've now beaten Pittsburgh 3 straight times there at the Dog Pound. So they got their number there, um, in Ohio for sure. Um, didn't see too much of it, but everything I've heard from Steelers fans, they're talking about poor management and they were upset over this field goal. I guess because their kicker's been really accurate this year. Um, that's the main things I've seen from them. But the Steelers offense, they've been ineffective in the red area. It was like that against us. That's why they scored all field goals. Um, it's been like that all year long, and it showed again on Thursday. Most of their touchdowns this season are on big plays. Big plays through the air and on the ground as well. For the Browns, good win at home. I think they need a miracle to make the playoffs. They're damn near out of it, but a little bit of momentum as well because they got to play Pittsburgh again. This time it'll be in Western PA later this year, so we'll see how that one goes. Steelers, they got 4 more divisional games left on their schedule. But yeah, you talk about the 2 defensive linemen, the pass rushers, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. Every team in the AFC North got a premier pass rusher except for us. Bengals got Trey Hendrickson. it just rung a bell in my mind, man. We need a pass rusher, but that's for another topic on another day. But yeah, good win for the Browns. It was good to see the snow and everything. That means we've got some stuff to look forward to in these later games this year.
I mean, yeah, the Bengals might got Trey Hendrickson, but that's all they got. Your defense is way better than theirs, in my opinion.
It is, but they got a pass rusher though, a premier pass rusher. He's been there 10 plus years.
Yeah,
TJ
I
Watt
mean,
and go ahead.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I'm just saying Bengals in, but yeah, Trey Hendrickson definitely somebody. But
I see where you're coming from, but I'll take him though. Shoot, they want to release him. They was talking about releasing him. I think during last off season, I heard some rumors. I was like,
mm,
please do,
yeah,
so we can get somebody consistent, man. We just seem to get the older ones that give us a good 7.5 to 9 sacks a year, and then we don't resign them. So Jadavion Clowney, for example, led us in sacks last year, or either he was second place. Now he's down in Carolina. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into an NFC West matchup, shall we? We got the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. This is a very good game. I'm kind of on the fence about this still. I really like. I gotta see what Geno Smith does. If he goes out there and plays his A game, throw for 300 yards and also scramble because he has some great scrambling ability. Last week he had that game-winning touchdown against the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. So he definitely can scramble a little bit. I just want to see how the Seahawks defense looks against the Cardinals offense. I really like some of the players they got in the secondary, Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen, how they're going to match up against Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride and the rest of those guys that the Cardinals receivers have. Can the Seahawks also can they stop my guy James Conner? If they
Yep.
can do that, they probably have a good chance of winning this game. But right now, I'm leaning more towards the Cardinals. I just like how they're moving right now. Early in the season, it was looking kind of funny, but the new coach they got is definitely turning things around. The defense is making plays, so they're starting to become more balanced team. I remember earlier seasons, previous seasons, it seemed like it was Kyler Murray or bust with that team. But now, James Conner is there. He's running the ball well. Marvin Harrison, kind of quiet, but when he does play and he makes impact plays, he definitely jumps out on the screen. I think he'll have a decent game, but if not, Trey McBride has kind of been balling recently. So I like the Cardinals in this one, but it's very, very close. I think, like I said, the Cardinals are only favored by 1 point. So I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning, slightly more toward the Cardinals. And I think if I had to pick between Kyler Murray and Geno Smith, I guess I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray. So that's why I'm leaning more towards the Cardinals. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, Kyler Murray, I cannot wait to see him play in this one. I love his scrambling ability. He can throw the ball pretty good as well. Arizona has the fifth ranked rushing offense right now in the league. You talk about James Conner, Kyler, when he can get out there and scramble, it always is fun to watch that offense out there. They're pretty damn good. Arizona, the Seahawks, I think they'll be running the ball against that Seattle defense. Seattle has given up over 138 yards on the ground per game this year. Um, but I want to see how the Cardinals defensive backs they can slow down JSN. I think he's had back-to-back 100-yard games, receiving games. He's leading the team in receiving yards. I know they talk about in NFL Network how Tyler Lockett hasn't necessarily um, been what he has been in previous years as well, and DK Metcalf as well. He's been the most consistent weapon there for Geno Smith. But yeah, I think if Arizona, if they can control that time of possession and avoid a shootout, I think they got it. If it is a closer game at the end, Seattle tends to favor those type of games this season. Those tend to go in their favor. So I am leaning towards Arizona. But another thing, Kyler Murray leads NFL quarterbacks in rush per carry, and Geno Smith leads the NFL quarterbacks in yards per game, which I had no idea about that Geno stat. You can kind of see that in Kyler, but not the Geno stat, especially with some of the bigger name quarterbacks around the league this year. So this one should be a good one there in NFC West. Arizona, I believe, is in the driver's seat there, out there in the Western Division for the NFC.
Yeah, I the ball a lot, but when he does rush, he seems to get like big gains. Like you can almost guarantee he'll if he can sneak out of there, the defense not paying attention or they're playing like man to man or something, he can gash you for like 20, 30 yards. He's definitely got some acceleration in him.
Yep,
So yeah, definitely looking forward to that game for sure.
for sure. All right, everyone. This episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures in mint and regular flavor. Most importantly, they're veteran and woman owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, PREHEMIUM.com. Now back to our show. New wrinkle to a classic NFL rivalry. Dan Quinn and his Commanders will host his former team, the Cowboys, Northwest Stadium, Sunday afternoon. I'm still lost on how the Cowboys let Dan Quinn go to his arch rivals. This is a very big storyline to me heading into this game. You look at the Cowboys; they're on heading in the opposite direction. The Commanders appear to be on the upslide and making some noise there in the NFC. Um, Not only is a reunion for him, his defensive coordinator and some of the players as well are now on the Commanders side of the field. Will play their former team. I think this game will definitely go in y'all's favor. Dallas cannot stop the run, nor they can run the ball. Since Dak has been out, they haven't been able to throw the ball either. Um, you can say what you want about the Washington secondary. I understand your frustration with them because we're having secondary issues as well. But Dallas, they're not be nothing to be afraid of besides CeeDee Lamb. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Brian Robinson will have a big a big game as well as Austin Eckler. Joe Mixon, he had a career game as well against the Dallas defense. Um, Damn near every running back has as well. But yeah, y'all 4-1 at home. Should easily go to 5-1 by Sunday evening. And I'm gonna go with the Commanders. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. I mean, even though we're favored big, I think we're favored by 10.5. Dan Quinn has brought all the good defensive players over with him from Dallas. Dante Fowler's having a hell of a
Yep.
season. We're playing the Cowboys divisional game. Can we stop CeeDee Lamb? I know Dak's not out there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cooper Rush. He was what 5-1 last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out there and started slinging the ball around. I think they might be able to have Brandon Cooks back. Can we stop CeeDee Lamb? Fortunately for us, unfortunately for the Cowboys, I think Jake Ferguson, their tight end, is going to be out this game. I think he suffered a concussion last Monday against the Texans, so he probably won't be out there. But can we stop CeeDee Lamb? Can we stop the rushing attack? A lot of teams have, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zeke Elliott finds his way into the end zone. The same for Rico Dotto. So this defense, I said it once, I'll say it again. We love to keep teams in games. We need some playmakers out there. This is another game. Marshawn Lattimore won't be out there, unfortunately for us. But can we make some plays? Can we get pressure on Cooper Rush? We stop CeeDee Lamb. We have the ball. If we can just hold on to the ball, wear that defense out, then yeah, I think we can win this one handily. But I really got some concerns about how we're going to do against CeeDee Lamb, and hopefully we can just like double, triple coverage him, let the other guys beat us. But I got to see it. Then Jaden Daniels, sir. Hopefully Jaden Daniels is healthy. He suffered that rib injury, and that's kind of been definitely had an impact on this play, in my opinion. Just being able to run the ball, even throwing the ball, you can definitely tell. As Jonathan mentioned last week, some of the throws he had against the Eagles were going at receiver's feet, skipping off the ground just because he couldn't put too much pressure on the or more force into the ball. So I need to see how he looks out there. If he's back to 100% or at least healthy, and I believe that's what Dan Quinn said, then we definitely have a good chance to win this game. Then Brian Robinson, feed him early and often. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. I was disgusted how the Eagles. I don't even know if it was just the Eagles, but he only had one catch, maybe two catches against the Eagles, and it came in the second half. I think late in the third quarter. We gotta feed Terry McLaurin. That Cowboys secondary, I'm not too concerned about. So hopefully, Terry can do his thing, and then can somebody else make a play? Against the Eagles, against the Steelers, even we had a lot of drop balls. Zach Ertz, I'm thinking of you. Noah Brown, I'm thinking of you as well. Can you guys please, when Jaden does give you a good pass, please catch the ball? Can you please make some plays? Give our offense a chance to continue to remain on the field and then score touchdowns. I know our red zone offense has been better, but sometimes it feels like we get in the red zone and we stall out. Something dumb happens where offensive lineman gonna look up, shuffle his feet, and have a damn false start, and we gotta move the
Yep.
ball back, or we just stall and have to kick a field goal. We gotta score points. I want to stomp out the Cowboys. I want to turn them into doormats. I want to blow them out like everyone is expecting to. I really want to do that. So, I mean, even though I feel have a kind of funny feeling about this game, feel like it's a trap game, I'm gonna go with the Commanders as well, and hopefully we win big and embarrass the Cowboys. So I can see Stephen A. Smith do his classic
Yep.
video where he pans, turns and stuff, starts laughing. Love to see that. But yeah, give me the Cowboys too in this one. But yeah, man, I am kind of nervous, but we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, if y'all don't win big in this one like you want, you probably will down in Dallas, boy. 20 plus points. leads other teams have had on them in what, 5 straight games. I think every game this season down there in Dallas. So don't worry, you got something to look forward to if y'all don't win big in this one here at home. All right, let's stay in the NFC. Two heavy hitters will battle it out at Lambeau Field Sunday afternoon. 49ers at Packers. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady will have the call there, 4:25 Eastern on Fox. A couple days ago was a toss-up for me in this one. I didn't know who I was going to pick, honestly. But now I hear Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa are out, so I'm going to go with the Packers right now. Both of these running backs, I think they will need to have a big game. Jordan Mason specifically, we all know Christian McCaffrey going to do his thing. And then on the other side of the field, Josh Jacobs. Um, Both of those, the brothers, they're uh, among the leaders in rushing. They'll be leaned on heavy because Jordan Love, he's been generous with the football. The 49ers defense, they've been known, over the years to be stingy. So we'll see if they can, start to get back to that. And then again, the 49ers have a new signal caller. So they're going to need to, in my opinion, run the ball, rely on Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason as well. San Fran's offense, I think they'll need to make some plays to get ahead because their defense, they hasn't been as strong as it has. How would their defense respond after that heartbreaking loss? You had Geno Smith run in for a touchdown with less than a minute left in that game last week.
Loved it.
Will they respond? Will they make the plays in this one? Green Bay, though, they narrowly won last week themselves. They had a blocked field goal. We talked about the opposing team sent the video to the league. 4 total touchdowns for Green Bay over the last 2 games. They haven't been efficient in the red zone. It needs to improve against San Fran, honestly, in my opinion. But my X factor is with the 49ers is Ricky Pearsall. He was shut out last week, didn't have a catch. It comes a week after he scored his first touchdown. He was my offensive player of the week. I think he needs a solid game. He needs a big game for sure against that stingy Green Bay defense that especially their secondary that is leading the league in interceptions. Who do you like in this one, Ed?
Yeah, I was kind of with you as far as like I don't know who to pick before the injury news to Brock Purdy. And like you, I'm leaning more toward the Packers too. Got to see how Brandon Allen looks like there. I'm not too familiar with him, so I got to see how he looks against the Packers. Jawan Jennings has been a really good step up since Brandon Ayuk's been out, and I believe the 49ers are getting George Kittle back, but definitely to see how the defense looks without Nick Bosa because he left the game sometime in the second half against the Seahawks, and that definitely had an impact on that defense. I think that's one of the main reasons why the Seahawks are able to come back and win that game because Nick Bosa wasn't out there to apply pressure on the quarterback. So I definitely need to see who's going to step up in his presence. But give me the Packers. Christian Watson had a huge game last week for the Packers. Jordan Love is it's like at this point it's almost guaranteed he's going to throw at least one interception or have a turnover of some sort. So if they can just keep the turnovers at a minimum, like the Packers' chances even more. But like you said, Josh Jacobs, feature him early and often. I'm saying that too because I have him on my fantasy team. So I need him to score a damn touchdown once in a while because he's been getting the rushing yards, but teams have been keeping out the end zone. So Josh Jacobs, can you give me about 2, 3, maybe even 4 touchdowns? I'll let have that. But yeah, let me give me the Packers in this one. 49ers, Kyle Shanahan always coaches his team well, so I won't be surprised if Brandon Allen comes out there like, damn, who the hell is this dude? He throws
Yep.
like 10 straight catches or something like that. So we'll see how that look. But give me the Packers with this one. That defense for the Packers though just needs to make sure don't get caught off guard or don't get caught by surprise just because they got a new quarterback in. I'm sure the new quarterback will be ready. And Christian McCaffrey another week with him, I'm sure they'll be ready to play too. But yeah, give me the Packers in this one. Give me the Packers for sure. Now I want to talk about some teams. Who do we think is going to get hot going to the rest of the season? Who do we think is going to get cold? Brandon, I'm gonna let you start first. And what do you think about that?
My hot teams down the stretch, I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers in the AFC. They're winners of 4 straight. They're dominant in the trenches. They have a great running game. They still do, though, have the Ravens and the Chiefs on their schedule coming up. They're 2 very winnable games, honestly, in my opinion, for them. But they also finish off with the Patriots and the Raiders at the end of the year, which is definitely should go in their favor. A team loves to play for their head coach, like the Chargers do, it definitely makes it all better, and it shows up on the field as well. They're definitely making some noise there out west. Arizona Cardinals, speaking of another Western team, another team riding a 4 game win streak. I think their defense needs a little bit of help. They need to create some more turnovers and get to the quarterback a little bit more than they have been. It's been kind of quiet in those statistical categories. But James Conner, he's the real deal. You talked about him. I talked about him. Kyler Murray, again, he can make any throw. He's one of the most elusive quarterbacks, so that definitely helps. If you get Marvin Harrison Jr. going consistent, Trey McBride has made strides this year as well. This offense and this team overall can definitely make some noise and possibly even hold on to that NFC West lead that they have right now and win it. Green Bay and Minnesota, two other teams. Both of them have one of the better defenses in the National Football League. They could both score with anybody when they're on their A game. I think the NFC West could very well send 3 teams to the playoffs. We know Detroit has a firm lead on the division. They're likely going to win it. So these 2 teams may be wild cards as well, leaving only one other spot in the NFC for one of the other teams to claim. Which teams do you feel like are getting hot down the stretch?
Arizona is definitely one of my teams too. I like them as well to get hot down the stretch, but I think Miami has a good chance to get hot down the
Okay.
stretch. They're on a 2 game winning streak right now. They play New England next. Looking at the rest of
Yeah.
their schedule, they do have some tough games left with Green Bay, Houston, and San Fran. But then, they got the Jets twice on the December 8th, and again in the season. They also got Cleveland, and they play San Fran too. It's a team I might mention as well. But I like the Dolphins' chances to get hot. Tua's come back, re-energize that offense, and the defense is starting to play well too. So give me Miami as a team to look forward to get hot. But like you said too, I think the Cardinals have a good chance to get hot as well. Also, I like the Rams' chance to get hot.
Okay.
They got a big test coming up against Philadelphia. Everybody's talking about, oh, that secondary of the Eagles is really good with the rookie Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and guys like
Yep.
that. But they got to test themselves against Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua and Matthew Stafford can sling it with the best of them. So after that game, they play New Orleans and they got to test. Talking about the Rams, they got to test against Buffalo, but they finish against the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. I think that NFC West, the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks definitely will start to fight for the finish for first place or second place at least. But I like the chance of the Rams to make some magic and do some things down in the stretch. But definitely Miami for me too. Now teams that will get cold. Honestly, I think the Falcons have a chance to start dipping a little bit. They have some embarrassing losses, specifically the most recent loss against the Denver Broncos, 38-6. Again, Michael Penix came in late at the end of the game because they were getting mollywopped and
Yeah.
came out there. Then they're on a bye week right now. Then they have to play the Chargers. After that, they play Minnesota. That's definitely I can see them losing both of those games as well. After that, though, they play the Raiders and then the Giants, but then they got to play our team, the Commanders. That's a 50-50 toss-up, but I like our chances against the Falcons. So I definitely see the Falcons starting to dip off a little bit, and maybe the Bucks will overtake them to win the NFC South. Then you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. This might sound a little crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised, even though they only have one loss right now, which is the most recent loss against the Bills. I would not be surprised if the Chiefs kind of just lost some more games at the end of the season. Now, don't get me wrong; I think they'll still get to the playoffs, and whatever happens after that is what happens. But wouldn't be surprised if this got a little get cold. Now they do play the Panthers next, then the Raiders after that, but that's a divisional matchup. They got the Chargers. They still got to play the Texans, the Steelers, and they also have the Broncos to end the season. So I would not be surprised if the Chiefs got a little bit cold as we go down the stretch of the season. You got any teams that you think will get cold?
For sure. You mentioned the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South. So if my team here gets cold as well, this should be an interesting end to the season for the NFC South. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They dropped 4 straight. They haven't recovered since they lost Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I know Mike is slated to suit up on Sunday, from what I'm hearing, for their final 7 road games on the road. They still have 3 more games against their divisional foes as well. All 3 teams they have to play once more. Um, Cincinnati Bengals, they still have to play some stout defenses down the stretch. They got Denver. We saw what they just did last week against the Falcons. They got Cleveland coming up. They always give the Bengals fits. And Pittsburgh, they got to play twice. Biggest problem for them, for Cincinnati, in my opinion, is no run game. I think they miss Joe Mixon for sure, 100%. And of course, a team that's making a beeline to the first overall pick in the draft, the New York Giants. Not that they've been hot at all this year, but I got to touch base on them. 0-5 at home, 0-4 against the NFC East. Just exactly where I told y'all they were going to be when we did our preseason prediction. I said Washington for sure would end up with a better record than them. Dallas looked like they might be competing with the worst at the bottom there in the NFC East. We'll of course see them on Thanksgiving Day down there in Dallas. We'll see how that game goes, but they're in the cellar of the division for sure. Only thing that the Giants are good at is losing games and getting to the quarterback. Now they can sack the quarterback. I gotta give them that. Then they can lose games really good too. And then you add in the fact that they just released the quarterback as well, the starting quarterback. So it's definitely not looking good there for Giants fans. But as much rivalry they have in state, in city, the Jets aren't much better. So don't worry, Giants fans. Y'all, it's bad, but it could be just as bad or worse with the Jets over there as well.
Yeah, both New York,
Yeah,
area teams are struggling for sure. Buffalo is only saving grace for that state.
exactly. Exactly. All right, everyone. Let's shift gears back to this Sunday. We got several other games between Sunday and Monday for Week 12. Vikings and Bears, Lions and Colts, Patriots at Dolphins, Bucks at Giants, Chiefs at Panthers, Titans at Texans, Broncos at Raiders, Cardinals at Seahawks, and Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Chargers, and Ravens. I'm sorry, Ravens and Chargers is on Monday night. Sunday night, I believe, is Rams and Chargers. If I'm not Rams and Eagles, if I can get it right. Which of these games will you be keeping a close an eye on, Ed?
Definitely the Sunday night and Monday night games. All these Eagles fans, it feels like it was their Super Bowl or something. They beat the Commanders. I got people hitting me up left and right that are Eagles fans talking about the game. Like, okay, man, congrats on the win, but gosh darn, can y'all like give it a rest? So
Yeah.
definitely watching that Eagles Rams game. Hopefully the Rams humble them again. Then I'm watching your game Monday night, Ravens and Chargers. That's going to be a really good game. The brothers are coaching against each other again. I forgot who's was it like the 2-1 or 3-0 against the other brother? I think is
Yeah.
your
Harbaugh,
brother's
Harbaugh
ahead, right?
brothers. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I wanted to check out that game for sure. I'm trying to see what there's another game that I really Vikings Bears is another game. I remember Caleb Williams, I think in a team meeting or something, he apologized for the way the offense looked, how he was responsible for getting Shane Waldron fired. I think that was a pretty nice thing to do. They lost that heartbreaker again with the blocked field goal. So see how they come out against the Vikings in that one. What about you?
Um, excuse me, Patriots and Dolphins. The Patriots have been historically bad down there in South Beach, even when Tom Brady was playing. Now they got a new head coach. Let's see how it goes Sunday afternoon. Bucks at Giants. All eyes are on Tommy DeVito, the new quarterback. Tampa Bay, though, they've lost 4 straight as well. Can the G-men upset them there at home? We'll see if the fans have any brown bags over their heads in this one. Chiefs and Panthers, man. Pray for the Panthers. Kansas City coming off a loss. They don't lose much. They can't stop the run there in Carolina. We'll see how that goes. Kansas City could, blank them, honestly. Um, Broncos at Raiders. The Raiders offense is offensive. It is bad. The offensive line for sure. That front seven for Denver is ferocious. Can't really name any people on their front seven, but I learned after we played them how well they were. It could be a 10-sack game for whoever's playing quarterback there for the Raiders at home. Rams or Eagles, you mentioned it, 2 of the hottest teams in the league. Um, definitely be looking forward to watch this one. I'm on the cruise, so I'll be able to watch all the games this week. And then Ravens and Chargers, man. We've got Greg Roman, Gus Edwards, Hayden Hurst, J.K. Dobbins, all former Ravens going against us. I'm sure they want to give all those guys their best games and try to get them all in the end zone against us. So our defense will definitely have our hands full. Ravens fans a little pissed off because Harbaugh said that it looking like Roquan Smith is going to play, but he has a hamstring injury. He hadn't practiced all week unless he practiced yesterday, which I missed. So there are definitely some angry Ravens fans on Twitter right now or X, um, calling John Harbaugh a liar, saying that Rowe isn't going to play. So I think if he doesn't play, Kyle Hamilton will be the defensive play caller, and I think Malik Harrison will start in Roquan's place, which he kind of got exposed when uh, Rowe didn't come back in the game the other day last week. So hopefully our defense is ready. We all know that they're going to try to run the ball at us. That's not even the fact that J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards used to play for us. The fact that it's Greg Roman's MO. They're going to run the ball at us. I'm not too, even though our secondary isn't very good, I'm not too worried about their wide receivers. We played a solid game in our secondary last week, but yeah, I'm definitely prepared for the run, and hopefully we don't give up a 100-yard rusher because we haven't done that yet this year. Number one ranked rush off defense for us. So yeah, definitely be looking forward to those games on Sunday and Monday.
I will say Quentin Johnson, Quentin Johnston, if I said the last name wrong for the
Mm.
Chargers, that's a receiver who might make some noise. And then also Justin Herbert lately, he's been running the ball a little bit. He might have like 30, 40, 50 yards rushing out there. So definitely got to keep a spy on him because he can take off and got a good stride. But yeah, definitely that's probably my game of the week, Ravens and Chargers.
Gotcha.
Speaking of games of the week, let's get into our guaranteed picks of the week. I'm gonna go with the Texans over the Titans. It's my guaranteed pick of the week. I know it's a divisional matchup. Anything can go with that ones with those, but I like the Texans in this one. What about you? Who you got for your guaranteed pick of the week?
Um, Chiefs over Panthers. That's an easy one for me. Again, they're coming off of a loss. You saw, I think it was the very last play. I think Mahomes threw an interception, if I'm not mistaken, and Travis Kelsey was clapping, and it was kind of like, uh, okay, yeah, y'all got this one, but we about to go on a run or something like that. Like you just got that mo, that vibe from him after that
Mm-hmm.
one. Mahomes doesn't make very many mistakes. I know he's thrown some interceptions this year, but Carolina's defense is definitely not good for sure. So I think they'll definitely have a coming out party. They got two good backs there with Kansas City. Uh, yeah, look out. Look out for Kansas City over the Panthers. I think they're in the early window. They're Sunday afternoon. They're in North Carolina.
Gotcha. All right, so I got Texas over the Titans for my guaranteed pick, and Brandon has the Chiefs over the Panthers. Pretty sure the rest of America has that one too. That's a pretty good pick. I would lock that in if y'all
Yep.
are making any bets on that one for sure. All right, everybody, that's going to end it for another episode of the Breaking the Internet podcast. Y'all stay safe out there. I want to thank everybody who watches the show. Please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter or X as well, and Instagram as well. Just look for Breaking the Internet podcast or B&E Podcast. Y'all stay safe out there. All right, we'll see y'all next time.